And welcome to another edition of C&C Live after another day of Olympic competition. It is midnight in Paris, the home of the Olympic Games, 6 p.m. in the East, 3 p.m. on the West Coast, and just past noon in French Polynesia, where the Olympic surfing competition is just getting underway, the last event here on day one of these Paris Olympics. And they, given the 12-hour time difference from Paris, will be going on in the middle of the night in Paris, the last event going, and this is generally the time that we will see them going on in the middle of our streams throughout the duration of the surfing competition, which obviously beginning today and will be going through next Wednesday the 31st. So for the next 5-ish days, we've got live surfing during the Olympics. Morris is here. Zach, I believe, is here. Charlie will be getting here
Hello.
shortly. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Go ahead.
I'm coming in with a fresh mind. I have not watched stuff. I'm excited to do some live commentary on the surfing going on, and yeah.
Zach, how are you?
I'm doing well. Unfortunately I had an appointment this morning. I wasn't able to watch the Olympics, but I have been keeping up with at least the US's stats. I know that we have 5 medals and 1 gold, I think, so far.
Yeah, correct. 1 gold medal. We'll get into all of the medals coming up very, very, very soon. And we will get into some of the bigger events of the day when Charlie hops on here, because there were no shortage of big storylines, but we want to start with a big thank you to our audience. We had, I believe, roughly 800 viewers on yesterday's live stream after the opening ceremony, which is by far the most we've ever had on one of our C&C Talks live streams. So we want to thank everybody for tuning in and joining us yesterday.
Absolutely. That was really incredible to see that. Hopefully we can do the same today with help from our viewers.
So
no, it's not. But there's always time. Well, until there's not.
There's always time until Charlie shows up. You see, Charlie, if you were not joining us on yesterday's live stream, he was picking on Morris a little bit. Well, Charlie, the tables are turned. I don't know if you're listening or not. Judging by the one viewer that we have right now, I'm guessing it's not you, but maybe it is.
It is possible that it's Charlie.
Yeah, he's getting back from downtown Manhattan and going up to where he's staying. He'll be coming home back to Seattle in a few days. But kind of one of the interesting storylines of today is, Zach, we kind of alluded to yesterday, was the weather. It was not great. Now, the good news is very few events were disrupted. I was somewhat surprised to see beach volleyball was able to go ahead, but the tennis on the outside courts was unable to go ahead. Courts that had roofs on them. And in addition, they had to cancel one of the skateboarding medal events and push it to Monday. So we only had 13 medal events today, as opposed to the scheduled 14. But hopefully the weather should be getting better, and we'll get a great Olympic competition going forward.
Yeah, it is kind of, the weather has been really bad. But yeah, I heard that the U.S. did very well in the swimming area. Is that wrong?
Well, I mean, the U.S. performed close to expectations in the swimming competitions.
And where
I believe this is the U.S.
Yeah, I don't know if we should show too much of this, Morris.
We're fine. I'll tell you later. Yes, it looked like some excellent dives. Like, look at that.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
we'll get to diving because this is an area that the U.S. did manage to get a medal, a silver medal, their first medal of the games, and Australia, who it was looking good for early, did not. They had trouble, shall we say? But Zach, it's been 3 years since we really had like a full day of Summer Olympic competition, and I've got to say, I kind of forgot how completely chaotic the games actually are when they're fully going. Like the number of sports that we had going today. Diving, swimming, water polo, badminton, basketball, boxing, canoeing, cycling, equestrian, fencing, field hockey, football, gymnastics, handball, judo, rowing, rugby, shooting, surfing, table tennis, beach volleyball. It's a lot to have going at once.
Yeah, it is. It's and so different too. Like it's not like all the water sports on one day, which wouldn't necessarily make more sense. I'm just saying it's so many different sports at once.
Yeah, no, it is. With that being said, I want to hold off on some of the bigger named sports until Charlie shows up to really get into a discussion on them. But Zach, I'll let you go ahead, or honestly, Morris, if you want to, you can just choose a sport to start with. That's not like one of the top ones.
My
How about the 4x100 swimming?
That's swimming. That's a top sport.
Oh. What was the
A
what are the
somewhat lesser
options?
known sport, maybe with less storylines, because I want to get to the big storylines when Charlie shows up.
Oh, okay. What about this one is a weird one that I heard about earlier. The air rifle.
Oh yes. This
Know what I'm
was
talking about?
the
Air
very
rifle.
first. Yeah, the very first medal handed out in these Olympic Games in shooting. That was very early, very early this morning. Not early enough that I wasn't watching it. Zach, Morris guessed before we came on air what time I woke up to watch the Olympics this morning. I'll let you try to guess it here. As we're live.
2 a.m.
Yeah,
oh my
actually,
god, we
that's
both
Morris.
guessed exactly the
That's
same.
exactly what Morris guessed, and it is exactly correct.
Yeah, I think you already told me, so it's not super impressive, but
Oh, I did? Oh, okay.
it's
Well,
not, or you told me that I don't know if you told me 2 a.m., but you told me you'd be when you'd be going to bed and when and that the Olympics started very early. So
yeah.
I
So,
know.
yeah, we had the first medal of the Olympics was the air rifle, the mixed team event for the air rifle. And China brought home the gold, their first gold. It was a pretty good match between them and Korea for the gold medal. Korea ends up getting second, and Kazakhstan ends up with their first medal. They get third. Kazakhstan is actually they got a couple of medals today, including a gold. So
Really?
they should actually feel like they did a pretty solid job at Kazakhstan today.
Does the U.S. even participate in the air rifle?
Yes, they were in the qualifications for it. They
They
were they finished. Let me get this up here. They finished in 13th place, which is not great. But I don't think it was expected that like this isn't an event that they were expected to do super well in.
Interesting. I'm trying to think of other obscure. We could talk about handball, although, yeah,
Yeah,
I
sure,
heard that.
sure. Let's talk about handball. The first day of men's competition in the handball, we had the women's competition the other day. Kickoff. It works essentially the exact same. There's two groups, 6 teams in each group. It's a round robin. The top 4 teams in each group advance to the quarterfinals. And we saw is in Group A, which consists of Spain, Slovenia, Croatia, Japan, Germany, and Sweden. We saw Germany beat Sweden, Croatia beat Japan, and Spain beat Slovenia in 3 very, very close matches. The Croatia-Japan match was just an incredible match of handball. Japan had a big lead at halftime. Croatia came back. They went back and forth near the end. It was tied. Croatia, with 2 seconds left, makes the game-winning shot to seal the win. Yeah, and then in Group B, which is made up of Denmark, France, Norway, Argentina, Hungary, and Egypt. Egypt beat Hungary. Norway beat Argentina, and Denmark beat France. And that last one's kind of a surprise because France, apart from just being the host of these Olympics and having had a very successful Olympics to this point, they have a track record of success in the sport of handball. So obviously it's just one match, but that's slightly concerning for their men's handball team.
Yeah. And is France normally good at handball?
Yes, generally they're quite good with handball.
Who are the other sort of big contenders for handball normally? I'm guessing probably not one of them.
You're guessing that who isn't one of them?
U.S.
No, the U.S. didn't field either a men's or women's handball team this year.
Yeah.
So in 2020, the 2020 Olympics, which took place in 2021, the gold went to France, with Denmark as the runner-up. So this was a rematch in this group stage of the final in last Olympics' championship. And this time Denmark came out on top. But it was France, Denmark, and then Spain in third, and Egypt in fourth. Back in 2016, if we go back that far, Denmark won with France in second. So these two countries actually have somewhat of a rivalry in the sport, and it's kind of wild that they were placed together in their first match, given that they've faced off against each other in the last 2 handball finals.
Oh, yeah, interesting.
Moving on from handball, we could go really in any direction.
Sure.
Well, as we're here, do we want to quickly? I was gonna say look at surfing, but I'm monitoring it, and nothing is interesting happening right now, so never mind.
Okay. Yeah, if I think at some point we're gonna get, like, in a few days, we're gonna get a final in surfing going on in the middle of our stream, which I think could be quite exciting, but we're not quite there yet.
How about we talk about fencing? That's another sort of not super known one.
Yeah, fencing. Zach, we have a friend that we should really get on here to discuss fencing at some point.
Yeah, we really should. Yeah, if he's available, which might not be, but
he won't.
Be. Yeah.
But yeah, fencing is today. It was the women's épée and the men's saber competitions in fencing, and fencing, not generally a sport the U.S. does great in, and today was definitely no exception. In the men's saber competition, an athlete from Korea taking home the gold, an athlete from Tunisia taking home the silver, and then the bronze going to an athlete from Italy. In the women's épée, an athlete from Hungary won, an athlete from France came in second, and an athlete from Hungary came in third. And Zach, it was really interesting, not just in fencing, but definitely fencing was a great example of it. There were a lot of French successes today, and just the way that the home French crowd got behind their athletes was really cool to see.
Wow, that's awesome. That's always great.
Yeah, hopefully that's something that we'll see here in the U.S. in 4 years. But half of our public is going to be talking about how they won't support someone because they're too woke. So
Oh yeah. Speaking of French wins, I'm seeing that it looks like they really killed at rugby, like really just destroyed everybody.
Yeah, this was a shocker. So
Yeah.
France and Fiji faced off against each other in the Rugby Sevens finals today, and Somewhat, well, actually, completely shockingly, France won. They didn't just win; they won 28-7. They won by 21 points, and this is especially shocking, Zach, when you consider Fiji has never lost a game of rugby at the Olympics.
Wow.
Every
Wow.
single year that rugby has been an Olympic sport, they have not only won the competition, they have done it without dropping a game.
That's incredible.
That's insane.
They already
I mean,
beat France earlier in these Olympics. Today they lost to them by 21 in the gold medal finals.
wow. So France, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I would argue one of the bigger storylines of today. France getting that complete shocker gold medal. They have never medaled in rugby before. France has not, but they do have the player who I believe can fairly be considered the best rugby player in the world. In Anton Duplan, and he came in the second half and made a immediate difference, and it was just like very first play of the second half. He scores on the first play just on a runaway. It was the difference that he made in the game. He scored twice. Just incredible stuff from him. 10 points
Yeah.
on the day to
Wow.
really seal that win for Fiji. Sorry, for France.
Yeah. It looks like it wasn't even that close either, looking at the score here.
Fiji scored first. They scored first and then not again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like a difference of, I don't know how rugby is, like what a normal rugby score is, but like a difference between 40 and 60 in my opinion in terms of score is decent. Whereas like this score 28-7 is just like a killing, I would say.
Yes, I like so rugby scoring. You get 5 points for converting a try, which I don't know why they call it a try, but it's essentially when you get it into the end zone. I guess I don't know their terminology, and then you get to kick a conversion, where depending on where you get it in the end zone, it's um, it's from a different spot of varying difficulties, and so you can get up to 7 points on
Oh,
a score, and so they
wow.
think about it this way: France essentially scored 4 touchdowns to Fiji's 1 touchdown.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive
Yeah,
on France's part. Yeah.
yeah. The bronze medal in this event went to South Africa, who beat Australia, a nation that's generally pretty good at this sport. Though South Africa does have a good history with rugby as well. Um, shall we move on?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's see what's next to talk about. Badminton is something we could talk about as well.
Yes,
While
we could talk about badminton. I tried to avoid badminton super early in the competition because there's so many players in the group stage, and it's really kind of chaotic and hard to follow. But we did not see great United States success today in handball,
No, yeah.
to say the least. In fact,
Yeah.
I'm looking through the results here.
So am I.
I don't think
That's
they won. No, sorry, they did. They won.
once.
They won one match, a women's singles match. Beiwen
Yeah.
Zhang beat Tiffany Ho from Australia, crushed her. And really, I
Yeah.
think that the consensus among people who know badminton is she is the U.S.'s best shot to get some sort of medal in badminton. That doesn't mean
Oh,
that it's probably going to happen. I don't think the U.S. has ever medaled in badminton before. Don't quote me on that, but I do not believe they ever have. She would be their best shot in this Olympics to do that.
and how does she sort of stack up against other countries' best? I'm guessing she's the best in the US, but maybe not near the best in the Olympics, or maybe she is.
I think that they think that there's a real chance that she could go far in this competition. Win it?
Okay.
I don't
Well, that's
know
good.
if she could win it, but I think advancing out of the group stage is absolutely in play. I think that even getting to the to like to in like kind of deep into the knockout stage somewhat, like possibly past the round of 16, like to at least the quarterfinals, I think is absolutely something that people that know badminton a lot better than I do think is very realistic.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I guess the US does have a shot at getting their first medal ever in badminton, which
Yeah, it's still a
is
long
fine.
shot. But if they were to have a shot, this person would be the reason why.
Well, that's great that we at least have a chance, which I'm guessing is more than you could say for other years of the
Yeah.
Olympics.
Pick another
So
sport
I don't
too.
know how this works. I don't know how this works very much. But do we want to talk at all about the canoeing that happened today?
Mm.
Yes, sure. By the quickly, I can now officially confirm the U.S. has never had an athlete medal in badminton. So yeah, it was the first day of the canoe slalom competition. The qualifiers in the men's canoe and the women's kayak. This is the whitewater canoeing competition, and we have the people
Wow,
who
that
are
looks quite insane.
we have the people that are advancing in this competition. It's there is going to be a U.S. athlete advancing in the men's. Casey Eichfield qualified in 10th place, a pretty good time of 94.69. The person that won had a time of 88.78. It's an athlete from France, top 16, qualified to move on in the competition. And then in women's kayak, there was a U.S. athlete that actually finished very near the top in 4th place in qualifying, Evie Leibfarth, 93.84, and will advance due to her placement in women's kayak. It's the 22 fastest instead of the 16 fastest, but she is moving on, Zach.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I think this is her, right?
Yeah, this is her. Yep.
Yeah, she's
That
going
just looks
crazy.
so
That is
impressive.
wild.
That just looks incredibly impressive.
It's so wild that someone's able to do that.
I was kayaking last night, and let me tell you that is not what it looked like.
I mean, I'd
Well,
be
and
very
kayak is a new
impressed.
sport, isn't it?
What?
No, it's been in the Olympics a while, I believe.
Canoeing?
Oh, I thought I saw something saying it's no, the kayaking. I thought someone said.
Okay.
I thought it said like coming new or something.
Mm.
There may be a couple new events, but as a sport in general, it's not new. The whitewater canoeing and kayaking, and there were some really impressive runs by both the man and woman who were representing the United States.
That's
Yeah. Hey Zach, here's a question for you. Have you ever tried biking in the rain?
No, I haven't, and I'm hoping not to.
So I don't just mean biking in the rain. Biking in when like on
Oh, is this the wipeout that happened?
the
No.
a very slick ground while
So why would they?
making tight turns while going, say,
Oh
maybe
God.
30 miles an hour.
83?
Oh, whoa! Look at that wipeout.
It was.
Why did they try this? Is my question. That just looks like terrible
Jeez.
conditions.
It is terrible conditions. I guess I mean, the argument is, well, it affects every athlete equally. Well, and it's not unplayable. I mean, I'd argue it's pretty
But-
close to
Yeah.
unplayable. But they did it. And in the women's competition, Grace Brown of Australia won the gold medal here. Anna Henderson of Great Britain won silver, and then less than a second behind her, Chloe Dygert of the United States won bronze. Chloe Dygert could have easily won silver and maybe made a run at gold if she did not wipe out. A pretty bad wipeout in a
Yeah.
turn, roughly a bit more than halfway through the race. First place was still probably not going to happen because she was at the end and over a minute and a half behind the winner of this race, but
Silver.
it definitely cost her a silver medal. Instead, she has a bronze.
Well, that's the thing. You can say that it affects every athlete equally, but there's also, it adds more sort of, I would say, luck to
It adds more randomness. Yeah,
it adds more randomness, and you have to be luckier to get the win.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, you want to be careful to make sure you don't fall in general, and like that takes skill. But it's like not generally what these, like, they don't practice in the rain.
No,
generally.
no.
And I mean, I gotta say, a medal at all is better than none.
Sure, and the other U.S. women's
none.
athlete that was in this race, in the cycling race, Taylor Knibb, she was doing pretty well before she also fell on a turn due to the slick conditions and lost her positioning. Now, look, I'm not trying to say, oh, it's only the U.S. athletes that this is hurting. No, there were others, but it's definitely a really bad break for the United States.
No, yeah, it's terrible. And I also think, like, you could still argue that it's equal for every athlete, but at the same time, it adds risk of, like, career-ending injury too. Like, injury is a big deal.
Yeah, I don't know about career-ending.
I would argue. I would argue that was negligent.
You'd argue what?
It was definitely negligent.
Yes. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I don't think they should have done it. Like, I think there are other sports that they I'm pretty sure they postponed other sports, and this
such as skateboarding for this reason. Now, they had to postpone tennis on the outside courts because if the ball doesn't bounce, then you can't really play tennis.
Right.
Well, I gotta say this though, which is
the clay courts, which are going to become
for skateboarding, it makes sense though, because if the skateboard itself gets wet, it's a lot harder versus biking. You're sitting on it, or you're like balancing on pedals, which is a little easier.
I mean, Morris, I'd like you to watch these races and tell me if the bikers are actually really sitting on the seats.
That's what I said you're standing on the on the pedals, but you have more than one point of contact that are separated.
That is true.
Sure. I mean,
the real thing I will say though is that if you come from a place that has a lot of rain, then you practice biking in the rain.
But if the skateboards, like, if they're like skateboards that, like, normal skateboards, which I'm assuming they have like a sort of sandpapery texture on the top, which really helps.
Morris, I hear your point about the whole, well, you should practice biking in the rain, but here's
I'm saying people that come from rainy places had an advantage.
Sure. Well, but I think it's more than that. Look, like, the course is a course that they just set it up. No one has ever biked that course before, really. There's a reason why they don't have, like, world records or Olympic records for this event, and that's because the courses are different, so it's impossible to judge from one to the other. So you can do as much practicing as you want, and that still won't help you gauge the slickness of the particular type of surface that you're biking on.
That's true.
What kind of surfaces do they? I'm guessing it's normally road, though, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is road.
But I guess there's different types of roads, like different materials.
I'll say this. Watching the race, some of the ground looked, with the water on it, kind of shiny, and that was immediately a sign to me they're probably gonna fall, like all of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was there a turn or something where every single person fell?
No, there was not.
Yeah, and that's random.
Yeah.
But I mean, that
I will say
we just watched was pretty, like, I don't know how you would not fall on that turn.
Yeah, and by the way, in the men's race too, we also had the men's competition, and Belgium won both the gold and the bronze medals here. Remco Evenepoel and Wout van Aert for Belgium, and then with Filippo Ganna in the middle of that for Italy.
Yeah.
And this is for what?
This is the men's time trial for road cycling.
Oh, nice. So France did well, I guess.
No, not France. Belgium first and third, Italy second.
Oh, yeah, Belgium.
Well, like I said, we've talked about rowing, and we talked about we also talked about kayaking. No, sorry, we talked about canoeing and kayaking. We haven't talked about rowing.
Yes, we have not talked about rowing. Let's get to rowing. We saw the heats today of the single sculls for men and women, the double sculls, the pairs, the lightweight double sculls, and the fours. Excuse me, that's tomorrow. Today was the heats for the single sculls, the double sculls, the quadruple sculls. Excuse me on that. And let's see, what do we have here? In the single sculls, we have advancing for men's Thomas McIntosh of New Zealand, I'm not even going to try to pronounce these guys' names anymore. Have an athlete from New Zealand, Greece, and Egypt, Lithuania, Croatia, Romania, Netherlands, Japan, Belgium, the U.S., Brazil, and the neutral athletes that are from Russia and Belarus who cannot compete under their flag due to the Ukraine invasion. One of them also advanced out of that heat. Whereas on the women's side in the single sculls, we had advancing someone from Australia, Spain, South Africa, Netherlands, Switzerland, Slovenia. Just like, is SLO Slovenia or Slovakia, guys?
I'm guessing it's. Oh wow,
Slovakia, probably.
You see, because I don't know flags well enough.
I think it might be
SLO.
Yeah.
Might be Slovakia.
It's Slovenia. I'm just looking.
It's Slovenia.
It's Slovenia. New Zealand, Uzbekistan, Mexico, Lithuania, Brazil, and another neutral athlete. On the doubles side for men's and for women's, for the men, we had advancing to the semifinals. The boats from the Netherlands, New Zealand, U.S., Romania, Norway, Croatia, Ireland, Spain, and France. And then on the women's side, the boats from New Zealand, Great Britain, the U.S., France, Australia, Ireland, Romania, Czechia, and China. And then finally in the quadruple sculls, we had advancing the teams advancing to the finals from Netherlands, Great Britain, Italy, and Poland on the men's side, and then on the women's side, it's from Netherlands, Ukraine, Great Britain, and Germany. So a couple of U.S. boats advancing, but overall not especially strong in rowing so far.
Huh. Have we been in recent past Olympics?
I was about to mention 1936 if you forgot the recent part.
No. Yeah, that's why I added the recent part.
I am not a scholar of Olympic rowing history except for 1936.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of
that's because I've read a book and watched a movie.
Yes. And yeah.
You
saw the movie as well?
I did see the movie.
I'm going to slightly abruptly change the topic. Sorry,
go ahead.
Continue for a second. I'm going to slightly change the topic here. I saw this really interesting thing that actually Romania and Chad both are under the same flag this year. The exact same flag design. Accidentally.
Wait. What?
Really? Is that true? Is that actually true? Wow.
Yeah. Well, it might be. It might be upside down. But here, I'll share my screen.
It has nothing to do with these Olympics, and more to do with just in general their flags are almost exactly identical.
Yeah.
I think there was actually something about that. I think Romania at one point actually sued Chad. Like, I don't know how international law works in this case, but like basically tried to get Chad to change the logo. Or
By
the
logo,
flag.
you mean flag?
But I think it had something to do with the fact that Romania originally had this flag, and then they were under occupation, I think, from Russia. Don't quote me. We need Charlie here. But and then when they became independent again, their flag changed back to this. And
Yeah, I think it's a combination.
But
correct
in
me if
that,
I'm wrong,
what?
was it Chad or Romania? One of them, I believe, was occupied by France. And so when they redeclared independence, yeah, it sounds like Chad. When they redeclared independence, they changed the white to yellow, and they used the same flag but changed it from white to yellow in the middle.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on from talking about flags to actually getting back to talking about the Olympics. Let's talk about the sport where more medals were given out today, and that is the sport of judo. The first medals for, I believe, the lightest weight classifications handed out today in judo on the men's and on the women's side. And we had judo. It works. Several of the martial arts sports work this way, but there's 2 bronze medal winners, in addition to a gold and a silver winner.
Why is that?
Because they don't have a third place match.
Oh.
But this is where the men's final. This is where Kazakhstan got their gold, France another silver, and the bronzes went to athletes from Spain and Japan. Whereas Japan also, they won gold on the women's side. Mongolia won a medal here on a silver medal coming in second, and then Sweden and France coming in with those bronze medals. So this is another example of an impressive showing by France here in the Olympics.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like the U.S. did okay
in judo.
Yeah.
I mean, to the extent that the U.S. has judo, we're also at the preliminaries in boxing. We'll talk more about the boxing competition over the next few days.
Oh yeah.
Which is shorthand for I didn't watch it. Also did not watch the equestrian competition today.
Maybe we should talk about that. But
yeah, I will say what I know about the equestrian competition is that I believe they held it outside the Palace of Versailles.
Oh, that's pretty cool, actually.
Yes, I will say though, it is still not the best venue for the Olympics so far, because the best venue is in beach volleyball, where they have the stadium built right, like almost directly below the Eiffel Tower.
That's incredible. Yeah, that's really cool.
So we had today in beach volleyball. This is just the beginning of the group stage. The beach volleyball competition will drag on for a while. It doesn't finish until the penultimate day of these Olympic Games, but we did see a U.S. women's duo who one of the favorites to win the gold. They took down Canada 2-0. Also in the women's draw in the same group, an Australia duo took down China 2-1. And then in the men's in Group A, Pool A, Qatar took down Italy, and Sweden took down Australia. Whereas in Group D for the in men's, Cuba took down the U.S. It was really a disastrous showing from this United States pairing against Cuba, and then Brazil took down Morocco. Now, something that will be interesting to keep an eye on in the beach volleyball competition is on both the men's and the women's competition. The U.S. actually has 2 different teams competing in beach volleyball. So that's multiple shots at medals on both sides.
Did you see water polo? Can we talk about that?
Yes, I love water polo.
I've seen a little bit of it, and it looks really hard and quite impressive.
What impresses me most about water polo is just the endurance of the athletes. As I believe
Yes.
also Charlie is now here. Charlie, how are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
Hey guys,
Hey, how are you? Charlie, you'll be happy to know we still haven't really talked about some of the biggest ticket sports. We'll get to that in a minute. We've been waiting for
I'm
you.
gonna be very real. I
Yeah.
was sleeping until about 2 o'clock today, and then I went and did something, so I haven't paid attention at all today.
Okay, well, we'll get to swimming in a
Hey,
minute.
same.
Well, we will get to swimming in a minute, but we'll talk about water polo. Zach, the United States women's water polo team is unstoppable.
How'd they do?
They won 15-6 against Greece, which is an impressive margin for water polo. But the U.S. water polo team on the women's side,
Remember, guys, we have to talk
they
about what's
just
going on
got goals.
screen, or we get deleted. Remember, Morris?
Well, we got it
We're
under
fine.
control, yeah.
We got to talk about the clips, boys.
We did the U.S. that U.S. women's water polo team. They won gold in 2020. They won gold in 2016.
Wow.
And they won gold in 2012, off to a very, very, very good start. Runners up in 2008 as well, off to a very good start at this tournament. And I think every expectation in the world is that the U.S. will once again defend their women's water polo crown.
I mean, if they've won the gold that many years in a row, it's quite impressive. So
Now, interestingly enough, Spain beat France by the exact same margin, 15-6.
yeah,
Australia also beat China. The Netherlands beat Hungary. It was just the women's side of the water polo today. The men's, I believe, gets underway tomorrow in water polo. Another team sport that we saw today was the beginning of field hockey on the both the men's and the women's side. On the men's side, we saw Great Britain take down Spain. Charlie, you got to be happy about that.
Well, we did something.
So I'm curious, what's your primary allegiance here in these Olympics?
I'm gonna be rooting for the U.S. unless they play Britain. Then I'm gonna be rooting for Britain. If
So
they
you're
don't play
rooting
each
for
other,
Britain,
if they
essentially.
don't,
overall,
if they don't play each other, I'm rooting for the U.S.
What about in like
yeah.
gymnastics competitions or swimming competitions?
I'll root for the Americans.
Okay.
What about overall in terms of medals?
Again, I'll root for the U.S. guys. I may be British, but I live in the United States and I am an American.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I get
true.
that, but I know that you do really still like rooting for Great Britain, especially in soccer.
Oh, I love rooting for them in soccer.
I would
Do you
I
wanna
would
talk
say
about
I'm
soccer?
sorry for your pain, but then I'm a U.S. soccer fan, so I actually empathize with it a lot.
Yeah.
Do you want to move on to soccer then?
In just a sec, yeah. In women's field hockey, Argentina lost. Argentina beat the United States. So the U.S. did not field a men's field hockey team, and their women's won. Not off to a good start, but yeah, I think we get on to football, otherwise known as soccer. But for the purposes of the Olympics, we call it football.
Yeah, we should.
Well, until 2028.
I'm actually curious what they're going to call it that year.
Flag
I
football.
feel like it would be really bad in general. Even though I'm from the U.S., I think it would be really bad in general if they start calling, football.
I think
as
they're
in
going to call soccer
soccer.
football and flag football flag football.
I think they have to call it soccer because they already are going to have a different sport of football in the Olympics in
Yeah,
2020.
that's true.
You can
It
call it
feels
football
so-
and
it
flag
feels
football.
weird though, because the U.S. is the only country in the world that calls it, that I know of, that calls it soccer, not football.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Today we had action in men's football. These are the under 23 teams. And Charlie, your favorite team, Morocco, the team that you like to get behind, they had a rough day.
That's a bit of an over-exaggeration. I did that once.
Yes, but they had a rough day. At the very, very end of their game, Ukraine managed to score the game-winning goal on what to me looked like a very obvious offsides. It was an impressive goal, but they did not rule it offsides. They looked at it on VAR. Apparently, I'm wrong, but I still frankly trust my eyes more than I trust VAR, and it looked pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
look
well,
at
what
that.
can you do?
Now, the US, on the other hand, I think it was on Wednesday's live stream. I said that I was struggling to figure out where the United States men's goals were going to come from. Who were going to be the people that were able to score the goals? And apparently they heard that and were intent on proving me wrong because they scored 4 today.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, against
Against New Zealand.
Yeah, against New Zealand. Yeah.
So it was a good showing by the American men, who actually have a path out of the group stage now. They will play their final game against Guinea, who, don't underestimate them. France today, they struggled to
Yeah.
beat Guinea.
Holy crap. That must have been a close game. I'm seeing the score right now, 1-0 France.
Yeah, France didn't score till the end of the game. Guinea had an early goal, but it was called back for offsides.
Did you agree with that?
I wasn't watching it. I was watching the swimming finals at the time.
Because that would be crushing if it was a
That
bad
does
color.
sound like something you'd do, Colin.
Charlie, you haven't heard. So we've had Morris and Zach try to guess what time I woke up this morning. I'll let you do it next.
All right, so given you're on the West Coast, I'm gonna say this might or may not be a trick question. I don't think you slept at all.
No, I did sleep. I went.
Okay, you did sleep at all. All right.
That's a good guess though.
All right, I'll guess 1:30 in the morning.
You're early. It was 2 a.m.
Okay. The only time I've ever woken up that early is for a flight. F1 isn't even that early.
I have
Well, yeah. I mean,
quite literally never woken up that early before.
Imagine adding F1 to the Olympics.
They can't.
I think I've probably done it.
There aren't enough nations with cars.
Yeah.
Get
yeah.
more cars.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, but there also aren't enough nations that know judo and have athletes that are good at it.
Breakdancing.
Yes, I love that idea.
I need Morris. You know that it's added already. They're doing it this year.
When are they
Which
doing?
one? That's amazing. I did not know that. That is amazing. I will be
You
watching
didn't
that.
know that, Morris?
No, I don't follow any Olympics news.
Weren't they talking about that like years ago though?
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
They kept.
But I gotta say-
They kept showing the Delta ad that had that in there, and it was really
Me-
annoying.
Me not talking about me not following Olympics is really funny, given that this is a sports podcast.
Yes. Well, and the
It's
politics.
not a
podcast,
sports
but
podcast.
Not on these live streams.
If anything is a sports show, it's my show. Which, speaking of which, if anyone on this live stream, you should go check that out. It's called
Whoa, Charlie.
Self
No, he can
Promotion.
promote his own thing here.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, okay. It'd be
Um,
nice for a little warning with self-promotion.
yeah. Charlie.
No, you don't get one.
Charlie, we saw the first day of men's basketball competition. The U.S. doesn't play until tomorrow. We'll, of course, recap that tomorrow. But do you think of these games? Australia taking down Spain, Germany taking down Japan. France struggled for a while with Brazil, but ultimately they won. Wemby had himself a nice game. And then Greece, Canada. Canada ended up winning, but I think it was a lot closer than a lot of people thought it would be.
It's Shea versus Giannis.
Well, it was more than Shea, though. It was Jamal Murray. Though, Charlie, you'll never guess who fouled out for Canada.
Yeah, Dylan Brooks.
Yep, Dylan Brooks fouled out.
I know this could be kind of, I don't know if this is realistic, but it would be kind of funny, I think, kind of cool to see if they added like a 1v1 basketball.
Well, they have 3-on-3.
They have 3v3,
Yeah.
which it's not played like under normal basketball rules. It's literally just pick up basketball.
Oh, really?
Well, like with a ref though, like so.
No, they just shouldn't have a ref.
You know what I want to see in the Olympics? Bump.
What?
Like ultimate?
No, I think it'd be funny if they brought like the classic basketball game bump.
Oh, bump.
Yeah, that's a side category.
I feel like that's a little, yeah, I don't know.
That's getting a little bit too goofy there, more.
Did any of you see John Oliver's segment from last weekend on the World Games?
No, I didn't.
The concept behind them is they essentially brand themselves as like the testing a bunch of events that they think should become Olympic events, and a lot of them are kind of just wild. But they take suggestions. Like you can nominate games to bring to the World Games.
They should bring back dueling.
I think they should not do that.
By the way, that is not a joke. That is a thing.
Yeah, I know.
We will not be showing that on stream.
I don't know if they have footage of that.
They had dueling? I'm
Yes,
guessing
in like 1900 and 1904, I think, or something like that.
Introducing your new Olympic sport, Russian roulette.
No, that's the Russians have an unfair advantage.
That's more luck than it is skill. I mean, there's skill in the shooting part, but
Yeah, you know what else is more luck than skill?
What?
Not, crashing out on the slick road when you're going on your bike 35 miles an hour.
Exactly.
Olympic poker.
God.
Well, I mean, they already have
The one
games.
thing that I have said, Charlie, is that it will be a dark day when the Olympics add esports.
Didn't they just do that already?
Not yet.
Didn't
They
they
keep
announce
doing
it?
their roses
No.
about it, and they have declined it every time.
Okay.
Every time.
It'll
You know what
happen.
just happened that's huge? So something recently just happened that was huge, which is
There's
EA
like
finally
US
got the
Fortnite
rights.
team.
What?
EA finally got the rights to do college sports again.
Yeah,
Yes.
almost everyone knows that already.
EA College Football 25 is a pretty big deal at the
A
moment.
game that I may or may not have just pre-ordered yesterday. Or
I'm
ordered
surprised you didn't have it already. Charlie, any more comments on basketball before we move on?
Yeah, the Germans won as well. They got past Japan. That German team has Franz Wagner, Dennis Schroeder.
Both Wagner brothers.
Yeah, those are the two notable NBA guys. They took down Japan. The other game was Australia beating Spain.
Who's on that Australia team?
Josh Giddey is. So is Joe Ingles.
Wait, okay. I certainly like the concept that they beat Spain a lot less.
And I
Do you want to see the
Rudy
meeting?
Fernandez is the only guy I recognize on the Spanish team. Yes, the U.S. is tomorrow against Serbia, which, looking at their team, is Jokic and Bojan Bogdanovic, and that's basically it.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to tennis. We already mentioned a lot of it was rained out today, but we did get a couple of notable matches, and the most notable one was Rafael Nadal and Carlos Alcaraz teaming up at Roland Garros to play for Team Spain in men's doubles, and they won their first match. It wasn't very easy, but they did manage to get through it. Obviously, Nadal has won 14 singles titles at Roland Garros, where they're holding the Olympic tennis tournament, and Alcaraz, obviously the defending champion there too. So that's a pretty exciting duo for Spain.
Oh wow! I didn't quite process the fact that there was a clay floor when you said it. It's clay. It's actually clay.
It is actually clay. Yeah.
I was thinking of something a little bit more, I don't know, like a normal tennis floor.
Yes, it's pretty clear too. The U.S. has a good athlete in table tennis. That would be
yeah.
That would be excuse me, I am blanking on the name at the moment. Oh boy.
We definitely did our research before we live streamed.
I actually did research. Oh, sorry, it was kind of jaw.
Yeah, next time. Okay, let's take notes. How about that?
I do take notes.
I wasn't here,
and I had an appointment, but I did do
notes
before the live stream happened.
Oh, you know, Zach's
share notes. Charlie and I both did not.
Yeah. All right.
Which makes it funnier because I love doing raw reactions.
Yeah. Let's see. Moving on. We've talked about. We have not yet talked about volleyball. We've talked about beach volleyball, but we have not talked about volleyball. We'll
Wait, those two are different things?
Very, very soon. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They are very different things. Volleyball is played indoors, like how you would see.
Volleyball is on sand as well, or is it?
Beach volleyball is on sand.
Beach volleyball is. This is regular volleyball.
Yes, they play regular volleyball on sand, and beach volleyball in a court.
And on the gym, on the hard court, definitely. U.S. gets a big win. The U.S. men 3-0 against Argentina is really the big headline out of men's volleyball so far. Germany, Italy, and Poland also getting wins in the preliminary round.
Nice.
Shall move on from that to, let's see, what have we not
We haven't
discussed?
talked about swimming yet.
We've
And
what?
I don't think we talked about swimming yet, have we?
No, we have 3 sports left to discuss, and they're really the 3 biggest ones that happened today. Diving, swimming, and gymnastics. So, Charlie, we can go in with those in whichever order you choose.
Why are you asking the guy who didn't watch any of them which one you?
I just want you to randomly pick one.
All right, let's do gymnastics first.
All right, qualifying day for the men in gymnastics, and let's just say it could have gone better for the United States men.
Yikes.
They did qualify for the team final. Thankfully, it would have been a complete disaster if they hadn't. But we've got a team. They finished in 5th as a team behind China, Japan, Great Britain, and Ukraine. Ukraine did better than them in gymnastics.
Wow.
And then in terms of individuals, for the all-around competition, Frederick Richard and Paul Judah qualified for the United States for the all-around finals. Only one American has made the finals for a specific gymnastics apparatus, and that is Steven Nedorosik, who put in a very, very, very good score for the pommel horse and will qualify for that individual apparatus final. But other than that, just a complete blank spot from the U.S. men in terms of gymnastics.
Wow, that's surprising.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward, though. The women tomorrow, I do not think we'll see a repeat of what happened with the men today.
Well, that's good because, yeah. Gymnastics.
Simone Biles is back. She makes her Olympic return tomorrow morning, I think 2:45 p.m. a.m. Pacific time. So if you want to get up for that, you're welcome to. And you can call me because I'll be up.
Do you think that she'll be as good as she was before?
Yes.
That's
yes.
That's great.
The expectation for Simone Biles is that she wins gold in the individual all-around competition.
That's amazing. Have we seen her like practicing or doing any sort of other stuff beforehand?
Yeah, we've seen obviously her do the Olympic trials. We've seen her do the U.S. gymnastics championships, which she won back a few months ago. So it's good. That's good stuff.
Yeah, that's great.
Move on from there. Let's do diving. U.S. This is a medal final, women's synchronized 3-meter springboard. U.S. got the silver medal, with China getting the gold, Great Britain getting 3rd. Australia was set up just perfectly to get a medal, maybe not gold, but definitely silver until their 5th and final dive, which point their athletes kind of forgot about the synchronized part.
Oops.
That's funny. That's really funny.
How does that happen?
It wasn't intentional. Well, they just clearly didn't do what they were trying to do. We'll put it this way: it's not good in synchronized diving when the two of you hit the water at completely different times with completely different parts of your body.
Oh, wait, how does that work? The different times is understandable. Different parts of the body. Were they doing
did someone belly flop?
No, one of them just messed up on the trick.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They still didn't they? Oh yeah, no. Who else? Do you want to take a quick look into what's going on with surfing?
Go ahead if you have anything new on that.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to bring that onto the stage for a sec because it looks like we're right now in the middle of the women's round. Here, I'll skip forward since I got a little bit cashed up here.
See, those waves are legit though. Those are good. That is why they held the surfing competition there. Those are good surfing waves.
Where is this? French Polynesia?
Yes.
This,
Okay.
yeah.
That makes a lot more sense.
What is that out in the water? The white buoy
Water.
thing?
I don't
No, the
know.
white
Maybe,
buoy thing.
maybe it's literally just a
Probably
buoy.
a marker.
It might be a camera
It also could
stand
be
or
a-
something,
It's probably a camera and possibly just a marker so they don't go too far out.
possibly.
Yeah. That's
All right,
possible.
one final sport to get to. We've gone fairly long today. That would be swimming, and this is where 3 of the U.S.'s five medals today came from, including their only gold medal. We saw the well, actually, let's first start with an event that didn't have a final today. It was the semifinals of the women's 100-meter butterfly, and back at the U.S. Olympic trials in Indianapolis, we saw Gretchen Walsh break the world record for time on this event with
Wow.
a time of 55.18 seconds. Well, today she was unable to break her world record, but she was able to break the Olympic record, a time of 55.38, a good second faster than anybody else. Olympic record.
Wow.
She's qualifying for the finals tomorrow. It's really, really good stuff from someone that's quickly becoming a star in U.S. swimming, Charlie.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So she's probably gonna win the whole thing, I'm guessing.
I would be floored if she did not win gold tomorrow. Like,
Wow.
truly shocked. Now, as we get into the finals, we saw the men's and women's 400-meter freestyle finals. And in the men's competition, we saw what we thought had like a real chance at becoming a world record by the German Lucas Martins. Was unable to do that. Finished about a second behind that pace.
Was it an Olympic record or was the world record at the Olympic?
That always confuses me.
Neither. So the Olympic record was about 7/100ths of a second worse than the world record. But is unable to get either of those, but still wins the gold medal here. Elijah Winnington getting silver, unlike his name would suggest, did not get the gold. Wooman Kim from Korea finishing in third. The American Aaron Shackle finishing in 8th, last place in the finals. But that was, of the 4 gold medal finals today in swimming, that was the only one where the Americans did not medal. And something that we've also we're really seeing, we know that the US and Australia have a big rivalry in the pool. It is really good right now, though.
What
Like,
is
the level of the competitiveness between the US and Australia in the pool is something else at the moment.
Wow. And are there any other countries that are sort of close, or is it really sort of a US Australia show? Right.
So there's individual athletes in these sports that like can rival them, but there's no other country as a team that can come anywhere close. Let's take the women's 400-meter freestyle. Katie Ledecky, the most decorated athlete, the most decorated female swimmer ever. However, she's the American. However, this is not her best event. The 1500 and the 800 are her best events. This is an event that she actually lost in the 2021 Olympics to Ariane Titmus from Australia, and she lost it again today. This was a rough showing from Ledecky. She actually beat Titmus in the heats this morning, but then finished 3 seconds behind her in the finals. Didn't even get second place. Summer McIntosh ended up getting second place here.
That's great. What else do we have to talk about?
Yeah, the 2 final events were the of the day that we have not talked about. Were the 4x100 meters freestyle relays, the women's and the men's. Australia beat the U.S. in the women's one, but in the men's one, this is where the U.S. got their gold medal. They beat Australia. Caleb Dressel anchored it for the United States. Brought home the win for the U.S. Overall, overall, the U.S. just as a team, they did very, very well. Hunter Armstrong went third, and he had the fastest time, under 47 seconds, a really ridiculous time for his 100-meter leg. And the rest of the team held down their spots, and it led to a win, I believe their third straight in this event.
Yeah. All right. I think that might wrap it up.
Does anybody
So-
have anything else to add for this in this stream?
Make
Nope.
sure to tune in tomorrow at the same time to watch our second day opinions and recap.
Yep, lots more sports tomorrow. If you thought today was chaos, well, we've got 15 more days of this, and we're gonna enjoy the heck out of it. That's 4 live streams down, 15 more to go here on C&C Live after the Olympics every single day. You catch us back here tomorrow and for the next couple weeks, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Time. Love hanging out with you for an hour or hopefully slightly less than that tomorrow every day during the Olympics. But visit our website, cctalks.com, to learn everything you need to know about our show episodes coming out every week wherever you listen to your podcasts. Follow us on Twitter. Charlie's at CC Talks Charlie. We're at CC Talks Podcast. Our Discord, cctalks.com/Discord. And I think that's just about it. For our entire team, I'm Colin.
I'm Morris. This is Zach, and we are C&C Live.
Thanks
Have a
for
great rest of
listening.
your day.